What about people that are fasting and they're doing one meal a day? They would then only be really, you say they'll still be absorbing the protein, but it
All
won't
of
be
it.
triggering all of it. Okay, that's interesting. I appreciated that. But they
This
would
is
be.
this is another great point. I think that we should touch on the one meal a day people.
Mm,
One meal a day, you have to define your goal. Is your goal to build muscle or is your goal to maintain tissue? And when I say tissue, I mean, are you just trying to maintain your body composition? If you are trying to maintain your body composition, you absolutely can get away with one meal a day. But ultimately, that means that you have to get all your protein in that one meal. Is that an ideal eating strategy? It is probably not an ideal eating strategy. A more, and all, I want to have a caveat in here. Humans are incredibly adaptable. We could do and cycle through different strategies. It doesn't have to be one way of eating for a lifetime where this is how I eat and this is what works for me. It can be for this 1 month, I am going to do one meal a day. I'm going to measure my body composition before. I'm going to measure it after. You can, for example, if you're younger, get away with one meal a day, assuming that you're training, you're doing resistance training, and you're just doing a lot of activity. Then people, some of the research would say, well, the 24-hour period amount of protein that you get in is really what's important. How much protein you get in a 24-hour period. And I agree with that. However, I will say if you are up against aging or hormonal changes or thyroid challenges, you have to take that into consideration. And what would be an ideal strategy? I mean, that's at least what I've seen in clinical practice.
Yeah, it's somewhere between 30 and 55 grams.
For sure. And the literature supports that.
Mm,
There is an art, there is a science of medicine and a science of and a science to nutritional science. And then there is the art of doing it, which comes from decades of practice and experience in the arena with patients. The best of both worlds is really combining the science and then the clinical practice.
yeah, for sure. And what about in terms of when people have done resistance training?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the research I've looked at is particularly for women, having that dose of protein with some carbohydrates can
Mm-hmm.
moderate that cortisol response if it's within 60 minutes of the workout. Is that something that you encourage people to do? So once they've done that session?
Yes, I encourage. It depends on what the goal is. Are you looking for muscle glycogen replenishing? Then carbohydrates are important. Are you looking for muscular repair and really building muscle? Then it would be protein. If you are looking for a combination of both, then both is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
As it
Okay.
relates to cortisol, I don't think increased cortisol levels while training is a negative, right? It's not. It's how the body is designed. I think where cortisol becomes a problem is if you are going through ebbs and flows of challenges with blood sugar regulation throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I will point out something else. These are great questions, and you're allowing me to talk and serve your audience, which I really appreciate. I know that I am giving you long explanations, but these questions are you really nailed these questions.
Oh, thank you.
Post training is very important if you are perimenopausal or older, postmenopausal, older, perimenopausal, any kind of chronic inflammation. And I'm going to tell you why. The literature supports that if you are older, if you are postmenopausal, if you are obese or struggling with inflammation, your tissue has the physiology of a quote, an older, more mature individual. To simply state that by having a robust amount of protein post training, your body is primed to stimulate muscle protein synthesis.
Okay.
You've got nutrients to the tissue. It allows you to lower your protein dose post training.
Okay.
What
Interesting.
that means is people will say, well, it doesn't really matter how close to training that you eat your protein for muscle protein synthesis or body recomposition. And I would argue that most of the data is done in younger, healthy men. And that if you are a woman and if you have hormonal changes, if you are obese if you are older, then we know that you can overcome anabolic resistance, which is that inefficiency of skeletal muscle when you resistance train and then when you eat protein.